Hello and welcome to the news from Bahrain International. I'm Sarah Libraik. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at Ghudaybiya Palace. His Royal Highness directed that all government sector employees and retirees be paid their salaries on Tuesday the 18th of April before Eid al-Fitr holiday. The cabinet then announced the launch of the Aspire initiative designed to support the career development of Bahraini postgraduate degrees holders and create quality job opportunities that match their qualifications. The initiative's objectives align with the proposal submitted by the Council of Representatives in light of a memorandum lodged by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs. The cabinet stressed the importance of de-escalating tensions at Al-Aqsa Mosque and providing protection for worshippers that expressed rejection of all provocative actions that fuel tension and instability, including violence against worshippers and the use of weapons and explosives inside places of worship. The cabinet then approved the following. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for the Development Infrastructure Projects regarding a draft decision to form a ministerial committee to review the naming of cities, neighborhoods, villages, suburbs, roads, squares, and intersections. A memorandum submitted by the Minister of Interior, Chairman of the Ministerial Committee for Information Technology and Communication regarding a unified customer service guide which aims to provide employees across government agencies with basic tools and knowledge to ensure they provide quality service to citizens and residents. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Community Services regarding the implementation of the 2023-2027 National Strategy for the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. A memorandum submitted by the Minister of Municipalities and Agricultural Affairs regarding the acquisition of real estate for public use to provide spaces for urban development. A memorandum by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on the government's response to 3 proposals submitted by the Council of Representatives. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa met with the newly appointed Acting Commander of the Royal Medical Services, Brigadier General Dr. Sheikh Fahad bin Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness emphasized the importance of further developing and strengthening the healthcare system to achieve the visions of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. His Royal Highness noted the Kingdom's commitment to improve the efficiency of healthcare services offered to citizens. His Royal Highness commended the Royal Medical Services, including medical and administrative staff, for their contribution to providing quality health services. For his part, Brigadier General Dr. Sheikh Fahad bin Khalifa expressed gratitude to His Royal Highness for his ongoing commitment to providing the highest quality of healthcare services to Bahraini citizens and residents. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa and the Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, also attended the meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa received the Chairman of the Central Bank of Bahrain, Hassan bin Khalifa Al Jalahma, and the Governor of the CBB, Rashid Mohammed Al Maraj, at Rafah Palace. During the meeting, His Royal Highness was presented with a report on the Central Bank of Bahrain's operations during 2022. His Royal Highness highlighted the importance of adopting programs and initiatives that strengthen the Kingdom's banking and financial sectors. His Royal Highness noted the importance of continuing to advance the Central Bank's monetary policy to further strengthen the Kingdom's competitiveness and its position as a global financial centre, in line with the vision of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness emphasized the pivotal role played by the CBB in furthering the Kingdom's economic development and financial stability and ensuring the sustainability of the banking and finance sectors. For their part, the Chairman and Governor of the CBB expressed their gratitude for the opportunity to meet with His Royal Highness and for the Kingdom's ongoing commitment to Bahrain's banking and finance sectors. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa and the Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, also attended the meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa received the coordinator at the Prime Minister's office, Dr. Yasser bin Isa Al Nasser at Ghadaybiya Palace. His Royal Highness highlighted that the kingdom's extensive achievements would not be possible without the contributions made by citizens and urged younger generations to follow suit. He commended Dr. Al Nasser for his long-standing service to the public sector and wished him further success in his career. Dr. Al Nasser expressed his gratitude for the opportunity to meet with His Royal Highness and noted His Royal Highness's commitment to supporting the public sector work streams and investing in Bahraini nationals. The Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, and the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Hamad bin Faisal Al Malki, also attended the meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa received the Commander of the U.S. Naval Forces Central Command, Commander of the United States Fifth Fleet, and Commander of the Combined Maritime Forces, Vice Admiral Charles Cooper II, at Ghadaybiya Palace. His Royal Highness highlighted the long-standing ties between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United States of America, particularly within military and defense. His Royal Highness emphasized the importance of furthering international efforts to maintain regional and international safety and stability. Regional and international issues of common interest were also reviewed, as well as joint efforts to further Bahrain-US cooperation to meet common goals. The Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, and the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Hamad bin Faisal Al Malki, also attended the meeting. The Speaker of the Representatives Council and Head of the Delegation of the Parliamentary Division, Ahmed Al Msallam, has participated in the emergency meeting of the Conference of the Union of Councils of Members of States of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to discuss developments in the situation in Palestine. Al Msallam affirmed that Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty the King, renews its firm stance towards the Palestinian cause and support for the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people. The Speaker renewed the firm position of Bahrain, which calls for providing protection for Al-Aqsa Mosque and the holy places in the Al-Aqsa Sharif. He noted the importance of the international parliamentary community adopting His Majesty's call to endorse an international agreement to criminalize religious, sectarian and racist hate speech, providing that the agreement prevents the abuse of media and digital freedoms and platforms in contempt of religions or extremism and terrorism. He clarified that the issue of Palestine comes within the priorities of the foreign policy of Bahrain and its continuous emphasis on the Arab and Islamic identity of Al-Aqsa Sharif as the capital of Palestine, adherence to peace as a strategic option within the Arab Peace Initiative, and the keenness to provide protection for the Palestinian people, and the importance of the international community to play its necessary and active role. The chairman of the Supreme Council for Health, Lieutenant General Sheikh Dr. Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, patronized the annual meeting of government hospitals. The SCH chairman hailed the national accreditation of Salmaniya Medical Complex and its attainment of the platinum category after its success in fulfilling the requirements of the comprehensive evaluation, along with the Ibrahim Khalil Kanu Health Center and the Abdurrahman Kanu Health Center. He hailed the continuous support and directives of His Majesty the King and the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister on the development of the health service system. He stated that the success of the Salmaniya Medical Complex affirms its commitment to quality standards and patient safety. For her part, the CEO of the National Health Regulatory Authority, Dr. Maryam Al-Adbi, has stated that an experienced team in hospital evaluation made the field visit to Salmaniya Medical Complex. The CEO of Government Hospitals, Dr. Ahmed Al-Ansari, affirmed that the accreditation comes in line with the adoption of many developmental initiatives at the complex. The joint committee between the Ministry of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Endowments and the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry held a meeting in the presence of the Minister of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Endowments, Nawaf Al-Maouda, and BCCI Chairman Samir Nas. They discussed issues of common interest in the areas of judicial development that support business growth and attract investments. The Minister of Justice affirmed the keenness to continue supporting the expansion of mediation applications in solving civil and commercial disputes, which is one of the preferred means economically and internationally, noting the continuous interest in developing work in the reorganization and bankruptcy courts in cooperation with the Supreme Judicial Council. For his part, Nas affirmed the Chamber's interest in strengthening its role in applying mediation methods to settle disputes between merchants as it works to activate a dispute settlement center with the aim of supporting the private sector and overcoming the challenges facing merchants, in addition to studying some important laws of concern such as reorganization and bankruptcy and submitting their opinions. The Secretary General of the STW, Hala Al-Ansari, stressed the importance of the report prepared by the Woodrow Wilson International Research Center in the U.S., highlighting Bahrain's efforts through the STW in raising the economic participation of women by enhancing their presence in the field of entrepreneurs and increasing their contribution to economic development. Al-Ansari stated that the report was conducted by a direct request from the Wilson Research Center to cooperate with the STW after the center was briefed on its work and progress in the field of monitoring, analysis, preparation of reports, and presentation of statistics and information. In order to strengthen its global presence by building international research partnerships that achieve the vision and aspirations of the kingdom and to enhance research production, the Supreme Council for Women, the STW, contributed to providing the team of researchers concerned with preparing the report with the required sources and information related to it. The report indicated that Bahrain ranked first in the world in national policies for the electronic inclusion of women and also monitored the efforts of the government of Bahrain in terms of supporting the empowerment and advancement of Bahraini women. It also noted Bahrain's continued improvement of its national legislation by eliminating discriminatory gaps in its laws between 2020 and 2022. The report also indicated that Bahrain facilitated women's access to credit services by banning discrimination on the basis of sex in financial services.
The US-based Woodrow Wilson International Research Center has issued a report monitoring the progress of Bahraini women entrepreneurship with numbers, statistics, and indicators. The report, which was released recently, monitored opportunities and challenges for women entrepreneurs in the Kingdom of Bahrain, Lebanon, and Tunisia in the context of the status of women in the Middle East region in general. The report focused mainly on legislation, laws, policies, government and community support, and others. It also reviewed a number of recommendations that the Center's researchers considered necessary to preserve the progress made at the national level. The Supreme Council for Women has contributed to providing the research team concerned with the required sources of information related to the subject of the report. The Council also attended several discussion sessions via video conference with the Center's employees and in the presence of all concerned parties to debate and review many aspects of the report.
The Supreme Judicial Council and the Ministry of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Endowments revealed the most prominent performance indicators for civil and commercial courts for the year 2022. In implementation of the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, the Chairman of the Sunni Endowments Council, Sheikh Dr. Rashid Al-Hajri, opened the Ahmed Sebt and Lulu Al-Wazan Mosque in Askar in the Southern Governorate. The newly opened mosque, which accommodates 171 worshippers, features 2 separate praying halls for men and women in addition to other facilities and a parking lot. In a statement, Dr. Al-Hajri hailed His Majesty the King's care for mosques, expressing thanks and gratitude to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister for his support and follow-up. Upon the directives of the Southern Governor, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Ali bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, the Southern Governorate held the Gargaon event with a large participation of children, their families, and distinguished guests. The Southern Governorate affirmed that holding the event stems from its keenness on reviving Bahraini customs and traditions, as it enhances the concept of community partnership and national belonging. The Governorate stated that the event included traditional and popular performances and competitions with prizes for participants. For their part, the attendees expressed pleasure with the celebration, praising the organization of the event.